Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a replay analysis. Today we have FU2. Alrighty, in his ELC Even 90 sent me this replay. He says, I just started playing light tanks as Even 90 was on sale for gold after the holidays. I am learning a lot about maps. This is allowing me to improve my play. How about you analyze this replay and tell me how I could have better supported my team against your team? Well, if you look at the other side, you will see that the greatest player NA is over there, Guido1212. He's fantastic. I remember this battle. I got my butt kicked. We have the Even 90. All right, this is a great little light tank. His setup is a little bit interesting, but I'm going to tell you, for a pure passive scouter, this might be the best. It's a hard one though, because he's got the CVS in the bonus slot. He's got Binox, which I actually love for the extra burn through if you can get that passive point. He's got the low noise exhaust for extra camo. He's running a camo directive for his crew. He's got food and 2 small kits. Quite a bit of APCR, a little bit of AP, and some HE. There would probably be some argument from people about maybe switching out the Binox for optics for a more overall, even while you're moving kind of thing. You might even get rid of the low noise exhaust and put on optics, but then you're talking about some serious camo on this bad boy, depending on what his crew's doing, which I assume he's brothers in arms and full camo. He is platooned with a clanmate from Clan UFO and Lego Launcher, which is a pretty funny name. I like that. So we are going to analyze this. He has a great game. It's a fantastic game. So let's watch how it goes. But I think there's some things mid and late game. Light tanks will teach you about the game like no other tank. And if you don't believe that, they will teach you about the maps like no other tank. The thing about a light tank, well, there's so many things, but one of the things you're learning about with a light tank are all of the... Is this his view? He is driving from way back here. Learning about all of the positions you can go to. You're learning about all... Oh my gosh, this chair, man. Learning about all the positions you can go to, which then informs you about the positions the enemy light tanks can go to. One of the reasons I really like doing replay reviews and replay analysis is I often learn things. You're going to watch him go to someplace I had no idea. There are very few tanks that can use it. I don't even know if it's an actual bush. It looks like it's not. Now, this is pretty far back. He's got great camo, so I don't think he would get spotted necessarily here. Anyway, is this an actual bush? You guys will have to let me know. I need to get into a training room and see. Put my ELC next to it and then put my ELC behind it and see if these actually count as bushes. The ELC is so stealthy, though. What you'll find is even out in the open, especially against low view range things like heavy tanks who generally don't carry a lot of extra view range help, like optics and CVS, although I don't think they carry CVS. That, you get what I'm saying, though. Oftentimes you can sit out in the open. So, didn't know that. I mean, I like this. This is very interesting. So he goes over here and he gives his team a lot of SA on what's going on. His team also takes the pit, which is a good thing. And because they're all getting spotted like crazy, they all kind of stop. Not necessarily only because of, but they don't push into the pit, and now his team has a huge advantage. His team does not have a good advantage to the north. There's nobody up there, which that actually doesn't bother me too much. It's very hard to win the north like that and swing around behind them without getting beat up, especially this early in the game. Right away, my team is down 2. You can't see it, but I'm actually over there in the factory. I don't generally go there, although I have gone there fairly frequently while I'm driving my TS5, because in situations like this, you can often have a good time. I am busy shooting HE and poking at the Tornbogen. I shot a lot of shots in this game. It was a lot of fire and fury, and for not a lot of effort, or not a lot of effect, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Now we're going to flex over here. I like this. He kind of saw what was going on. There was no real reason to push in or shoot over there, so he's going to come back to the middle. He grabs this middle bush. I think what he's done so far is all perfectly legitimate and nicely done. This bush here allows you to start lighting up the goobers that are sitting over here, and pretty quickly I think he's going to find a scorpion, Campalama Ding Dang, up here on this ridge, and Mr. Scorpion disappears. There he is. I mean, I'm sorry, it's hard. It's mean to laugh, but oh my gosh. That is 1,150 Scorpion hit points just like that, gone. So I don't know if he fired or moved. We may have burned through. I didn't actually pay attention to whether the binocs came up and that's when he was lit, but I bet that's probably what it was. Maybe a combination of all that. There's a lot of things that change your camo. Firing, moving, that kind of stuff. Binocs coming up, more burn through. The sum total of all that is that Mr. Scorpion is back in garage. Or potentially yelling at the team. I don't remember if he was mad or not. There you can see me. All right, so now we're looking at this situation. Go, where's my next place I can be effective? I think we sit here for a little while. It looks like FU's team is creating an advantage here so far. They're up a few hit points. They're up some tanks. And look where the Udez is. His platoon mate's way down the south. Just kind of watch what he does as well. I'm assuming you guys had comm right here. You'd have to let me know. The T-103 gets some more damage. We remove another gun because of that. This dude's going to poke up. I think he actually gets hit by a shot. Somebody shoots in here, I want to say. There we go. I don't know if that actually hit. Looks like it might have gone by, but for whatever happened, that Scorpion didn't like it and he backed out. Now, Pink Panther is going to make a runner, and he's thinking, this sucks. I do remember on this map, or on this match, thinking, great, our 432 died really early. Somebody is running an ELC. I hope they're not very good. Well, that actually turned out to be a problem, because they were pretty good, and we end up paying the price for it. Scorpion dies, and he makes a move straight across. So let's just take a look at what we got going on here right now, because this is important. And I like this move for you right now. This thing has a huge amount of camo, so almost no other tank, other than a couple other very stealthy light tanks, and it's hard to come up with what they might be. Maybe the British GSOR, Manticore, LHMTV kind of thing, is going to move across the open this close to the RHM and all these other dudes hanging out here and not get spotted. It's pretty awesome what this can do. I might have been a little more conservative, come through the ravine here and then come up on the edge of these buildings on this approach, because what I don't know is where's the rest of these TDs. Although if I look at it, I have a pretty good idea. They're all stacked up in here. If you count noses, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5. There's only one guy really unaccounted for, and he may not even be. He may be stacked in here as well. So I'm just saying, though, I would have faded a little further south, come around, and then worked the ridge forward. But the LC gets away with this kind of stuff because its stealth is so good. I just think that was a little more risky than you really wanted to take at that point in the game. So we're going to come up here and start looking for guys. We jump in this bush. Now what we can't do right here is shoot, even if we find people. The problem is our backside, where the M449, where Guido is, the RHM, the 274 Alpha, all those guys, that dude. Probably if you fire here, more than likely they see you. Now the RHM has moved around. This RHM becomes a thorn in our side. We'll talk about it. I think one of the bigger mistakes you made was not shutting this guy down a little faster. We'll talk about it when we get to it. I like how you kind of looked, nothing was going on. Now you're going to go find a closer bush. You've already kind of proven you can drive around over here in the open, and the guys in the factories aren't going to see you, so this is not a bad move right here. So we come in here, we're going to find some dudes. There's the Binocs, and boof, we find Guido. So that was a bummer for me right there. Saw that going on. I get lit, and immediately I'm thinking, great, that ELC is near. I thought he might be over here on the one column. That was the secondary thought. I will tell you, though, I was kind of surprised to see that he was here when I got the replay. I felt like these guys over here would have seen somebody get that close, but not so much. Not so much. So now I don't have any great options. What I should have done here is just completely back out of this fight. I should have kept going. And I try to kind of rock back and forth, but I'm getting hit in the side, and that's because I'm getting shot by guys over here. And I'm basically done. There's just not a whole lot I can do. I think the RHM biffed me on that. I'm trying to use that building right there to my left, to the right of the screen, but to no avail, and I am done. 4,216 damage. I think, basically, other than my small quibble about being a little bit dangerous going straight across the map right there, everything is about as good as you could have done so far in this. And I like the holding shots. I even started thinking, well, maybe I would start shooting this guy, and especially in just a little while here. But there's still purples behind you. I think you would have got lit. Maybe even the RHM might have got a shot. So this is just all valid. Your team just needs to knock down this building. Pretty soon here, you guys are going to start to see the 8.8 starts having a cow. There's a lot of There's a lot of crying and whinging and carrying on that goes on in chat right here. To some extent, there's a little bit of validity to it. We'll talk about it when we get to it. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. You guys will see that when we get to the end because it's pretty impressive what he's able to do here. But the 420, I don't know. Is there? I didn't zoom back. Is there still a building left? Yeah. Okay. So I think that's an indestructible building. Yeah, it is. So he is using the indestructible building and trying to isolate from those three guys. Doing a fairly decent job of it, although he is getting hit now. So there's enough angles that they can see him. He's just absolutely hating it. Pretty soon, guys, you're going to see him just charge forward because he knows the jig is up. Watch him put the gun up and salute. For those about to die, I salute you. And he burns to the ground trying to get in there. So he got the same fate I did. It just took a little longer. What is up with this one? Like, that's why I wear hats, because my hair is just like, stop it. Somebody needs to get the hairstylist. Can we get the hairstylist in here and fix this in between on the commercial break? That'd be fine. That'd be great. All right. Holy cow. Look how... that just blows my mind. Now, it's hard to tell. It looks like maybe he's kind of... oh, he's behind a building, potentially. I think maybe the IS-3A actually spotted him right there. But watch how close it gets coming around this way. Now, this is where I would start looking for a way to shut this RHM down immediately. And the reason being, we've got to start thinking about what your follow-on move is when you're playing a scout. What's keeping you from lighting these guys and dominating the rest of the map? This guy. This is the only thing, unless somebody else is tucked in, and that's possible. But he's the one you see right now. So this dude is probably stopping you from owning a good chunk of the map. Especially a great chunk of the map if you could get to this corner where these bushes are and start spotting into this area. And give the guys, you know, if someone's coming through the middle or they're trying to move around. So I want to get rid of the RHMB. So what you do, and I feel like that initial very passive style, which was completely valid and well done early in the game, you got to start thinking about when your scout becomes the assassin. When can I start closing guys out, take a little bit of a chance, get a little damage myself, and start adding to the point tally. So you come in here, and I would have stopped right here, and I think this is about where I can do it. A little bit more. Right in this area. Holy macaroni. Nobody's going to see you right here, man. I mean, it's possible someone has snuck forward. Probably very unlikely with your setup. Just put the gun on this guy and start waylaying this dude. And what we do is we come in here and we're thinking, you know, and then, I mean, another great point to stop. Look, you have multiple bushes. He is not going to see you. You're going to and now he's down to a 2-shot, easily a 3-shot. You put 2 in or 3, this guy goes away, and you've closed out that RHMB. And this was a little inexplicable to me. You just go outside of the bush right there. This was a huge mistake on your part. In a game that virtually had none so far, other than my small quibble about your approach to the middle part, and we just poke out and we get seen. Oof. And that's a bummer, man. And I think, yeah, we get hit. And that sucks, right? Armor not hit. That happens. I don't know. Did we get 2 low rolls? Why did we not close this guy out? We got a 216. Did the other shot not do any damage? What am I missing here? Did we get 2 no damage shots? What the heck? Let's go in here and see what happens with this. He's got 726. Somebody hits him down to 466. We should have stopped. We come out. We back up. Take a shot. That's 216. Okay, that's our damage. We did that. Oh, somebody else did 248. That shot just plain missed. That is a bummer. That is a huge bummer. And then this one. I just got unlucky, my goodness gracious. 3 shots, fairly tight dispersion, even for this gun, but you let it zoom all the way in. The third shot was maybe not quite, but it looked pretty close. And we only get 1 out of 3, and the RHM is alive. Now we got to do a little defensive maneuvering here. Try not to disappear by that RHMB slapping us. And it looks like, oh, he hit us and didn't do any damage, so very lucky right there. Looks like he got a crit, so he's raging, you're raging, everyone's pissed. All right, and I would go right back in there and try to find this guy. Let's shut this dude down. And I think we're going to start to get the barking from the JT 8.8 right here pretty quickly. So we're being a little bit passive. We kind of move back this way. We get reloaded. All right, fair enough. I don't know if you were thinking about completely repositioning. We sort of head off this way and then change our minds, I think, and come back. All very dangerous right here, I'm going to be honest with you. This dude saw you in the open at about this range. If he has creeped forward into this bush, he may have caught you out here. So let me just talk about approaching with scouts. I'm going to zoom out. Once you got around this building, you could have come back around on the, what is it, the north side of this building, and then worked your way this way. Right? North side, I guess it's actually the west side. Work your way north through these bushes very slowly with this thing, all right? You've got all kinds of camo and a bunch of burn through. You could nearly walk right up to this RHM, and if he's around the corner of that building, you're going to absolutely see him. And it looks like you're kind of thinking about that, so here we go. Sneaking up. I like it. And now we got guys moving out there, which I think that's what stops you. The M3Y is kind of moving around. Your UDES, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what in the actual hell your platoon mate is doing in that corner. I'm assuming you guys are talking. I can't, for the life of me, come up with any reason why he would be in that corner right there. Certainly not for any length of time. All right, I like this. We'll use the bushes. This is exactly what you do. And then we kind of stop because we got a situation developing, and we're looking for spotting. And that's fine. If you guys have shots on them and you've got them lit, that's perfect. Just kind of stop here. Now, you can get shots. And again, this is where we start talking about trying to get those shots. Fade back enough to put enough bushes between you and him that the bushes go solid and you take your shots. You got him lit, go back, maybe take a few pokes at him, see what happens. Be careful about not backing out into this open area, okay? But with that many bushes between you and the RHM, more than likely he doesn't see you. I wouldn't shoot here though, because there we go. So the M3Y takes a hit. So think about that when you're flying, when you're playing the scouts. Back, start working ways to get your own damage at this part of the game. The scout is so powerful in the mid to late game, especially if you can get your gun chipping in some damage. Even right here, potentially take a stab at that guy. I just don't think you're going to get lit by the RHM. Now, as he's doing that and he's getting lit, he's probably not going to come over. Both of them got punished for it. More than likely, they're not going to try to make that move. Finally, your UDES is making a good move. I don't know if you guys discussed that, but that's great. Now let's go try to find the stinking RHM, man. There he is. No, okay, that's the M3Y. He actually went over. So despite me saying there's no way he's going to do that, he absolutely did that. Be careful. If I wanted to find the RHM, I'd be back here. And I'd creep forward slowly, and I'd go to this bush. And then I'd be looking right down this line. And I might even creep forward a little bit more very slowly and see if I couldn't get some burn through on this guy. Use the TS5 as armor. It is a bit dangerous because you do have fire from the factory. So I do understand the reluctance to get overly aggressive. But I would absolutely be working angles and trying to find the RHM. You know where you also might find him? You also might find him by flexing back this way and getting up in that bush you were in earlier at the end of the ridge there, kind of near JT88, and get a different angle. Maybe he's peeking around this way, right? The point of all that, I would even take that shot potentially. Well, and then your 8.8. So your 8.8 is pissed. All right, there's that dude right there. All right, he's got 2 hit points. Where is he? He's around the corner. Shift left. That's what you're doing. Very good. Looking for a shot. That surprised me. I'm like, oh, God, did he make it? He did. So the spotting point of the RHM was behind the building. Okay, this is great, though. You're in a great position now. All right, what I'm starting to look for now is let's back out away from that bush. Now, that's the bush I talked about trying to sneak into. Back away to where you can just see through it. When he shows up, back up, make it go dark, and shoot that dude. Or potentially, there you go. That's what we're talking about right there. Now, go a little forward. I took a little stab in there. Oof. Good news is this dude just walks out and gets a. Is that a high roll or was that just an average roll? That was a little bit of a high roll, so fantastic work for us. That's the kind of thing this tank can do end game. Meanwhile, your team's kind of losing. All of a sudden we bled some guys trying to figure this whole thing out. All right, there's that dude. Oh, and we don't have a shot. He kind of moves. He backs out. He gets spotted. He has to know it's you, based on where he was. Sticking out the end, he knows you're down that way, so he's probably pointing right at that. So you got a couple options: go somewhere else, hang out here, which is what you do, or the boldest option is to go this way, around the right side of the building and kill that guy, and then swing back around and hide behind the building and try to avoid getting killed by the guys over there. That's the super aggressive one. I would probably go look for a different angle. So we're going to hang out here for a bit. This guy kind of gets away from you, unfortunately. 8.8's crying about vision. There we go. So we get this dude. He's out here. Now we're getting into another situation where we can start adding our gun. If we back up enough here, we have this bush solid against the RHM. He will not see us. We do need to make sure we're far enough away from it, though. And we have these bushes between us and the 274 Alpha. You can have, so don't go forward to there. I think you're looking maybe for the RHM. I'd immediately backed up and tried to engage the 274 Alpha. I certainly don't want to do it from here, because if the RHM gets in that bush, he's going to see me when I fire. So holy cow, man, I'd have absolutely backed up and taken shots at that guy while he was in the open. Kind of depends on when you notice him. Same thing is going on here. Here he goes again. Just back up and shoot this dude. I think to a large extent, you're trusting your team just a little too much at this point in the battle, and being just a little bit over, passive. All right, look at the situation now. The M449 and the 274 Alpha are in that little low dip right there. It's time to go assassinate the RHMB. Just blaze forward, go around him, and kill him off. Make him go away, because he's still locking down your team. I think there's some discussion going on between you and the UDES right there, and he may even have shots into those guys. We'll see who ends up killing. Yeah, we got the RHM is also angry. Everybody's angry at the scout. So the M449, he must be taking shots potentially from the UDES. We'll see who kills him. I think he dies here pretty quickly. There we go. Yep, so the UDES finally repositioned into a very useful spot, and he's getting those nice camo shots. And now it's even better time to go get that RHM. Close him out, and then we can kind of swarm the 274 Alpha. 6,386 assist is awesome. Spotting damage, doing some serious work. Lego Launcher comes up into that little high spot there. That's a good spot for him. The JT88 kind of has a good point right there. I understand why you're doing that, and I'm going to beat that dead horse just a little bit. I think closing out that RHM was certainly on your to-do list here much earlier. So, but the UDES is waiting. He's got the 274 Alpha. The 274 Alpha is doing that. This is, again, why I would not be sitting in this bush here. I'd be away from this bush enough that I could shoot at things like this and not get spotted by the RHM. You're not going to get spotted by him. We actually take a shot, but our lead fire is just way, and that was dangerous, because thank goodness that RHM hadn't got in there. I don't think the RHM could come into that bush without you seeing him. But man, I'll tell you what, stranger things have happened. I try to minimize that from even happening by making bushes between me and things like that solid. And I just go get them. I mean, you come up here, I think you're waiting for the UDES to reload. I don't know why we're driving in sniper mode. I wouldn't be doing that. I mean, no kidding. I'd be driving this one like this, in case he did show up and I could get the gun on him and shoot him or do the maneuver that I need. But we're in sniper mode for some reason, which worked because the RHMB dies, and I think your actual assist was over 7,000, as I recall. Is that right? Let's take a look at this. Yeah, 7,140 is the actual number. So you had a lot of unshown assist. We did 456. We ended up with a kill, and I believe an ace tanker on this bad boy. Is that right? Yeah, absolutely. Nope. Oh, class 1. That's the even 90, my friends. This is a class 1 with 1,316 experience on a 7,000 spotting game. Jeez. Of course, they were all same tier. I thought the beginning of it was near perfect in terms of what you were doing. I liked the initial positioning. I learned something. I'm going to have to go look at that. I don't know if maybe you just got away with that because its overall camo is just so good, or those are actual bushes. Maybe they are for a tank that size. That's pretty cool, so that'll be something for me to consider. I like the reposition in the middle. I liked the move to the ridge, although like I said, I'd have gone further south. The push once the situation once the situation became amenable for you to get into that west side where you worked the rest of the game, that was a good move. But I think the big mistake was not getting rid of that RHM. I think you had shots without getting spotted, so maybe your 3 shots only come out with leaving them with 2 hit points, but you probably wouldn't have lost hit points to that hit you took, because you shouldn't have got spotted right there. That was just a huge mistake. And then I talked several times about more aggression and taking shots, but otherwise, splitting hairs when you're talking about a guy who spotted for 7,000 damage, got the win, and was very integral. Just take the criticisms of the guys that were talking. There were some kernels of truth in some of those things. They did have some points, and then add that to your gameplay, and maybe next time with just a slight more bit of aggression. Again, break before you take away from this. Guido said always get super aggressive in your light tanks. It's a light tank, so I do have plenty of examples of where I got too aggressive too early and got sent back to the garage, and my light tank lasting longer in the game would have been a good idea. So there you have it. That's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you.